need to keep Balogun. And yes, definitely need a right winger. Another versatile CMDM would not be missed, but that would be asking too much. I mean, there's been links of Arsenal going for Tchouaméni. Big report just come out in the Times saying that they will start to pursue Lavia, but so are Liverpool and Manchester United, according to that same article. What else do Arsenal need in your opinions, guys?
I think Saliba gets injured.
Striker, they need goal. They need a striker who scores goals, man. Like Jesus, everybody was talking about. I like Jesus as a player. I like what he does, but again, City sold him for a reason, and they had no problem letting him go. And we saw the same Jesus. I didn't see much different. He's good at link up play. He's good on that turn. He can't really finish still. Scored a couple decent goals, but I think you need a killer. They need a Vlahovic. I think they need to go back in for Vlahovic. I think that's what they should be doing.
They need someone who can get them 20 goals, 25 goals a season. All the great sides have a player who gets you 20 to 25 a season. In the tight moments, they pop up with the goals. With Arsenal, I think they have a thing where they haven't got anyone who's going to get 25. They've got a couple who can get 20, and then a couple who can get 15. But I think in the big moments, that's what's going to let you down, because you don't know who you want the ball to fall to. At least if they get and I don't think Vlahovic is maybe the answer, but I'm going to say his name, Vlahovic, then you know he's the guy you want your chances falling to. He's the one who's going to get you 25 a season. All the great sides have these players who get these goals and prove it in these big moments. And you're going up against City, who have the prime example of that. They have the prime example in Erling Haaland, who's the only player to ever get more goals than games and win the Golden Boot or whatever it was. Like, you have to have someone who they're not going to go blow for blow, but they can match the big moments.
So the reason I said Vlahovic, though, is because his best attribute is movement and getting into the box. And one thing Arsenal does extremely well is they create a load of chances. They create, like, between Saka and Martinelli, all those dudes, they create so many chances that if you have a guy in there who has the movement of I don't love Vlahovic as a player, personally, but I can see what a player like that would do in a system like Arsenal's. And I think, like, he's just going to get so many opportunities to score there that I really think he'd be one of those perfect fit type players for them. That's why I said him, but you're right. I think they need a goal scorer.
Centre back probably as well. I don't like Gabriel personally. Left back, maybe as well.
I mean, after the World Cup, he was one of our best centre backs.
Gabriel is a donkey. Let's be honest about this. The amount of times Arsenal are in crucial games, and this guy goes and does a dumb thing and gives away a free kick in a bad position, or gets a red card, or gives a red card where gives away a foul in a bad position, or a red card that happens, or does even a stupid back pass and it just puts you in a bad position. He does it all the time. He does. I'm sorry.
That was November. When we came back from the World Cup, he was a different player, and he was better than Saliba after the World Cup.
A season isn't 5 months long. I remember at the start of the season, he went like 4 games in a row, either giving away a penalty, making a big mistake leading to a goal. When you're in these tight title races, yes, you were able to bail yourself out last season. That's not always going to happen, and you cannot afford for those mistakes. We had it for years with Dejan Lovren. He'd blind you with 3 months of good performances. You're sitting there going, oh my God. But the mistakes are always there in the player. And Gabriel, you might be able to get 5 months out of him. But there's also going to be those games where he makes mistakes. I remember it was Mitrovic trying to pass the ball out the back and lose it to Mitrovic. Fulham score. You manage to save yourself at the end of the game. That's not always going to happen. In the big moments, you can't be having your players do that.
It's an interesting one for Arsenal. We've got some super chats here. First one says, saying we need a striker is a bit of an overstatement. We should get one. It's not a need. We scored 88 goals in the Prem last season. We need a 6/8 is what Tevin says here. Jesus would have scored 15 to 20 goals, but was out for 3 to 4 months. Fair point. We scored 88 goals in the Prem. It's not goals, but conceding them was the issue. But I think that the Timber is cover at centre-back. It's as simple as that. He's coming in. He's going to be that guy that covers centre-back. He's going to cover right back and try and get himself into that first team. So they're probably not going to buy another centre-back. The midfield is what they're looking to bolster. They look at the reports this evening. They're going to go in for Lavia as well. If they bring in Lavia, Rice, and Kai Havertz, is that an improved midfield in your opinion, Sam, compared to last year, especially if Partey and Xhaka leave?
100%. I think throughout the season, our midfield was the most inconsistent part. Thomas Partey had a good 2 months, and after that he just fell off. And the issue with why I'm so excited about Declan Rice is he's consistent and he's always healthy. With Thomas Partey, yes, you get 2 good months out of him, and then all of a sudden his hamstring pops. That was the case for him in the last 2 years. Obviously, Granit Xhaka, his age, and obviously, he's reached the ceiling at Arsenal, and we could do better than Granit Xhaka. And we looked in the market, and there are better players there. Obviously, it is a risk, Terry. Obviously, because the midfield is such a crucial position, and we're rebuilding the entire midfield in one summer. So we've got to trust the club on this. But Lavia, Rice, and Havertz midfield is a big upgrade from what we had, because in some games when Granit Xhaka got injured, we're bringing in Fabio Vieira, who's not even ready to play in midfield yet.
Yeah, this super chat here says, name 2 Gabriel mistakes then. Waffle.
He gave away a penalty against Spurs.
There's so many.
The mistake against Fulham.
There's so many. There's one game I can't remember.
I swear last season he had like 6 errors leading to goals or something.
He stomped on somebody in one game and he got away with it.
Multiple errors like leading to goals.
Sam, do you remember the game where he kicked up? I don't remember which game this was, but he got away with it because there was a foul outside of the play. But if they didn't have that foul outside of play, he'd been gone. He'd been gone for 3 games. He'd been gone, like straight red.
This year, there's I'm sorry, but that Gabriel take is disgusting. He was undoubtedly our best defender. People don't realize his defensive load covering for Zinni inverting.
I thought Saliba was the best defender, the best young defender in the world, and the best thing since sliced bread and Van Dijk. But now Gabriel's better, so then what does that make Saliba? Unless you had the best centre-back partnership in the league, then how didn't you win the league?
This year says from Brian says he scored the equalizer though against Fulham in that game.
That's fine. No, I said,
that's not the point. That's not the point.
You're not always going to bail yourself out.
The point is the point everyone old Arsenal fans are trying to make. Ever since he came back from the World Cup, he was a different player. Since he signed that new contract, the errors went. So for the majority of the season,
they didn't.
Significant errors.
Again, if you've got someone who for 2.5 years has made errors, and then for 4 months goes, oh, you know what? I only make 1 error in this time, but it's not really memorable anyway. That doesn't suddenly make you an error prone, not an error prone player. Because Sam, you're not willing to bet that Gabriel doesn't make a mistake next year because he's got it in him. That bozo gene. Every defender who you've ever seen have a bozo gene, it doesn't just disappear one day. It's always there. It's always there.
Chelsea saw with Koulibaly.
Literally,
it happens. I agree. Maguire, certain guys.
This year from Jason says, with Rice and Timber potentially complete, yeah, they're going to happen. Unless they fail their medicals, which we've had no reports on. Terry, what position do you think Arsenal will strive to improve next? They could still go. Lavia could be straight the next target. Another midfield player could come into the club. That's something that's on the agenda. I think an inside forward. I don't think they'll sign a number 9. I think it could be someone of an inside forward. Something like that. Jason is what I think, mate.